I think this was definitely the best month of the year when it comes to projects, man. There was a lot of good music that dropped recently, and we wanted to share some of our favorites for you that we found. Here on the Antidote, we love the music. We love putting people on to new stuff. We get people who hit us up all the time and be like, yo, I've never heard of this, but this is dope.
Yeah.
Who is it, and all that kind of stuff, and we got to put them up on game and say, this is what we do. This is the whole purpose, is we want to shed light and bring some of our favorite artists into the light a little bit. So yeah, going into the month of April, it was a little bit slower. There was some good releases to start the year that we liked. The Kyle Dion and
Shafiq Hussein.
The Shafiq Hussein, yep. Things like that. But April definitely brought us a lot of dope music that we all could feel. I guess we could start with Ventura. Ventura was early release back on the 12th and still gets mad rotation right now for me.
Yep.
At least play it once a day, if not more. Ventura definitely is my favorite project of the year so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. Ventura, my favorite project as well. Anderson Paak followed up his Oxnard album less than 6 months later with Ventura, bringing the soul and bringing just nasty features. So he's got Andre 3000 just at the top of his game on the feature there. Smokey Robinson, Lala Hathaway, Brandy, Sonia Ellis, Nate Dogg even makes an appearance.
Yeah, that story was dope. Reading that story about how he got that track, that was pretty dope. He was working with he was working with a former producer and engineer of a friend. Yeah. He's working with him pretty tough, and he had that sample, and he was like, let me just get that.
Yeah, it was cool. He kind of switched it up as a duet.
Right.
It kind of really reminded me of when Kendrick did Mortal Man.
Right.
On To Pimp a Butterfly. Like kind of how, Anderson and Nader are going back about being, rap hooks, being the top rap hook singers in the game. And just that one's called What Can We Do? And, with all these big name features on every track, Pack's showing that he can hang with all these dudes.
Exactly.
Like there's no one outshining him, and he's not outshining anybody. He's hanging with the best of the best on this one. Definitely from top to bottom. My favorite project of the year as well. So Ventura, obviously the big release. I think the biggest release in April probably would be from Schoolboy Q. Comes out with his first album in 3 years, Crash Talk.
That just came out dropped that on Friday. Yep.
And what did you think about Schoolboy's new album?
I liked it. The only thing I don't like is I feel like he kind of got away from what made him Schoolboy. I think he was trying to search for that hit. And even he's been getting frustrated. He's been pretty frustrated recently. You hear him on like his Twitter and on his like IG feeds and stuff like that. And he's like, damn, it doesn't matter what kind of single I put out, y'all ain't gonna buy it. And I kind of feel him, I just don't know if he has that mainstream appeal. I don't think he ever really has. Even when he dropped like a track like Studio was to me a really good mainstream single. It buzzed a little bit, but it still fizzled out. I thought the song could have gone longer, out on the field. But I think, man, I like the beats, bro. Like the tracks go hard. From the first track of Gang Gang to the ending track. I love Tails on there. Tails is like that hip-hop street tale kind of thing, talking about his pops, his uncles. Mm-hmm. I really dig those tracks. And then he has Drunk with Black. I like those tracks a lot. Then he has like some softer stuff that I'm not really too much a fan of, like Chopsticks, and what was the other one? The one with Ty Dolla $ign on there and YG. I mean, the song rides because it's YG. YG be making tracks ride, but still, like the verse is very basic, and it's just like
So Schoolboy albums usually like kind of grow on me on first listen. It usually doesn't catch my ear too much, but once I bump it a couple of times, it's always pretty good. Yeah. I think this album, it was really good. He spits, he goes hard, the beats are hard. I just think that he's got to find somebody to write hooks for him or something, because I think the hooks come up kind of a little bit short and make me lose interest in some of the songs.
Yeah, I can see that definitely.
Especially like, you know, Chopsticks, for example. You got a Travis Scott feature. I'm
With
expecting
no Travis Scott verse.
right. Travis Scott just just on the hook. They're like saying chopsticks, chopsticks.
Right. I
And
didn't understand that either. I'm like, bro, where's the verse? Like, get
right.
this man a verse so then you can
Like
really have the track set.
you don't need a feature if the dude's just gonna say one word over and over again.
Right.
Anybody could have
Exactly.
done
Because
that.
that's literally what he did. Chopsticks, chopsticks. I like the chopsticks. Like that. Come on, bro. And they was saying like they had Ty Dolla $ign, you know, on the hook with the one with YG, and it's stop looking up on me. That shit ain't okay. Hey, hey, hey. I was like, oh no, man. Let me skip this song.
Yeah, so the hooks, man. I don't know. You got SZA in the camp, like
Right.
you utilize it. You got Sir in the
K
camp.
Dot. Yeah.
You know, you got some top singers going on there,
Right.
and I don't know. I guess after 3 years, I was expecting something a little bit more from Schoolboy. I definitely liked Blank Face a lot. That's still kind of in my rotation.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Blank Face was more mature than this one for sure. So
yeah, and with all respect to Schoolboy, it sounded like he had gone through a couple of iterations of this album, and his head just got stuck in different places. But
yeah.
definitely, you know, the loss of Mac Miller affected him, and so I don't know. I think in the end, you know, there's pressure to put out an album. So this is the album that he put out right now. Not his best work, but I love Schoolboy, and next time he drops the album, I'll listen to it too.
Yeah,
And
always going to support regardless.
yeah, for sure. And like I said, the albums usually grow on me as I listen to them more and more. So I'm sure this one might grow on me as well.
Yeah, for sure. I drove back from Wichita over the weekend after doing a show out in Wichita, and you know, I listened to it pretty much like I listened to it like 4 times all the way through, and definitely I like it a lot. I actually like it. I just feel like it came up a little short. I think he was searching too hard for a single, and there was just a couple of songs on there that I'm just like, damn, why are you searching so hard for the single? But the rest of the songs I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check the album. I think if you like that kind of sound, I mean, he has some really that floating with 21 goes stupid hard.
Yeah.
I love that song.
That was dope.
Water with Baby,
Crash.
the Baby goes hard. Yeah, Crash Talk is dope. I mean, the album's dope. I actually like a lot of it. He just was searching for some stuff on a couple songs. So, you be the judge. What other ones were you feeling this month that kind of dropped?
I want to kind of cover these next two maybe together. They're both alternative R&B, I guess would be the best way to describe the genre here. I'm talking about Matt Martians, The Last Party, and Press L to Continue from ROMderful.
Yeah.
So
sure.
both kind of live instrumentation based, live sample based R&B kind of projects. It's that future sound, that West Coast kind of future vibe kind of sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely if you've never heard of Matt Martians is one of the people in the collective known as the Internet. Mm-hmm. And they continue to put out dope music
and not only
together
that,
and individually.
But Matt Martians also was one of the big producers when Odd Future was starting out. So he's one of the men behind the scenes of Odd Future, and he's one of the co-founders and, you know, one of the leaders of the Internet.
Yep.
He's the keyboardist.
Yeah, he's the keyboardist. And I mean, really good album, really wavy, spacey. Talking about the trials and tribulations of some relationship stuff. Mm-hmm. Getting into relationships, trying to talk to that girl and, let her know that you love her kind of thing. Really vibey music though. I really felt that this was a mature project from him. He's been dropping projects left and right for the last couple of years, but he definitely had some maturity on this one. Little bit of Thundercat-esque, mm-hmm. As well as, with his own flair of that kind of like that internet sound, analog. I wouldn't call it necessarily lo-fi, but, there is some, frequency changes on there and high filter kind of sound, and just made it really clean, man. And I really enjoyed the project itself. I believe it's only 7 songs or 5 songs, something like that.
8 tracks.
8 tracks.
Features production by Matt Martians himself, Steve Lacy, and Omar Apollo, Mac DeMarco. They use a Mac DeMarco sample on one of the tracks. Steve Lacy has a feature on there.
Yeah.
So, definitely has that internet vibe. Patrick Page plays bass on the track, and Steve Lacy is on like 3 of the tracks on here. So definitely a great project. I would say my favorite track off of that one is Knock Knock.
Yeah, Knock Knock was dope.
Yeah, Ponyfly is pretty dope too, featuring Steve Lacy.
I think Ponyfly is actually my favorite though.
Ponyfly is your favorite?
Yeah, Ponyfly is my favorite on there for sure.
Awesome. So the other album I touched base on when I brought that one up, Press L to Continue by ROMderful, that dropped a couple of days ago as well, and also kind of that same kind of vibey, wavy, dusty, West Coast kind of bounce, future R&B kind of bounce to it as well.
Yeah,
he's got some.
I really enjoyed the project a lot. Been a Rom fan since he was just going by just Rom.
Mm-hmm.
Really popped up with Selection. Doing the Selection white label back in the day. Still a young cat. Kind of been doing his own thing. Been really kind of silent. He does he'll do some flips or he'll drop like some remixes and stuff like that.
He did some production on the Kyle Dion album Sugar as well this year.
Oh, okay. See, that's even better because that's dope. Big fan of that album. So, seeing that's actually really dope.
Mm-hmm.
ROMderful he's kind of goofy, and you would think he's goofy, but the songs that he put out was really good. And not only that, his features are really good. I was actually very surprised by some of the artists that he had on here. Some of the artists that he had on here he's UK based from the United Kingdom, and the actual MCs that he had on there were some of the best that I've heard from the UK in a while. And we actually like a lot of UK rappers like Loyle Carner, who we will talk about as well, dropping his album. Loyle Carner has done a lot of work with Tom Misch and stuff like that. He didn't use him on here, but he has Jay Prince on here, a dude named Wade, Toby, and Emma V. Emma V is a female producer, singer as well, who's also done some stuff with Selection and things like that. I thought the project was very cohesive. Really just vibey and like you said, live instrumentation played a lot into it, and whoever's playing bass, if that's him,
it's him playing bass.
Boy, that's him on keys and bass, that man, he's really cold-blooded. Like he's really, really, really dope. Like,
because the cover's got a picture of a bass guitar next to the TV. So
yep,
that's him playing the bass on the album. The bass is tremendous on there. Just a great project, top to bottom. I didn't skip anything on it. I really loved that project. ROMderful, Press L to Continue, and
Press L to Continue.
I like that. I like that title too. It's like story of my life.
Hit the L because you're just gonna keep continuing. Yeah, for sure. I feel you, yo. There was one.
Let's talk about the Loyle Carner project.
Yeah, so Loyle Carner, another UK rapper coming straight out of the United Kingdom. Not Waving But Drowning is his album. I think he went really deep on this one. He talked a lot about things, in his childhood and his mother. And we've always heard that if you've ever heard of Loyle Carner, which probably none of you have, he talks about that. He was on Tom Misch's album, when he was doing Water, on that track, Water Baby. And he kind of talks about, getting his mom aboard and, trying to do things like that. You could tell he's very family oriented. So on this one, he goes a lot on his experiences as a child and everything like that. He talks about all of that. And so it's a very personal album. You can tell it's his coming out album and being personal, which I like. I always like that, and especially in the first one. Give them who you are. And I think Loyle did that. I think he did a great job with that. My favorite track on there being Loose Ends with Georgia Smith.
Yeah, that's a great track. Loose Ends is good. I do like Adolengi with Jordan Rakey or Jordan Rakey, however you pronounce it. I do apologize. Tremendous features on this album too. We mentioned Tom Misch, Georgia Smith, Sampha is on here. Two other great UK artists on the come up, Rebel Clef and Kiko Bun, are on the track You Don't Know. They're both great up and comers. The UK music scene's just got a lot of talent right now. It's
really blowing.
It's definitely a scene to watch.
For sure. Another dope one that dropped recently, right after that, Loyle Carner as well, was the Pivot Gang album.
Yes.
You Can't Sit With Us. Man, this is such a dope collective album. Like I haven't heard. Actually, I have. There's a lot of groups out there who are starting to put their sounds together that sound really, really good together, and it only seems to just fit like with that group. And that's Pivot Gang. They're kind of one of those same things. So Pivot Gang is Saba. Saba Pivot from Chicago. Saba had pretty much our favorite album of last year. Came out in the scene, blowing up, and he brought his team with him, and they blew him up this year. And they dropped their collective album called I just had it again. You Can't Sit With Us.
Yeah. Pivot Gang is Saba, Joseph Chilliams, as well as Day Day Pivot.
Yep.
And this album is really hot, just, bars, and it's more of a coming Saba, bringing his friends out, putting his friends on, and everybody just kind of shines. It seems like on every track, everybody just kills it.
Yeah, that was the favorite thing about it, and I think that's what the point I was trying to get to is like everybody brought their A game, and it wasn't like they overshined each other. Not even Saba. Like we know Saba, how dope Saba is, but then you hear the guys after him, and you're like, oh shit, they're pretty dope too. So it's not like you could really sleep on any of them. And they got good features on here. They got Smino on the track. They got Mick Jenkins on the track. Jane Doe, of course. So definitely some people who fuck with Chicago heavy. Jane Doe being from Chicago as well as Mick Jenkins. Smino's from St. Louis, but his team mostly works out of Chicago, so he's in Chicago a lot. Yeah, Zero Fatigue with Monty Booker and all of them. So they're out there all the time as it is as well. Colbert is probably my favorite track. I like that track a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say Colbert is my favorite track on there.
Yeah, Colbert is dope.
I played it as the intro last week.
Yep.
On one of the episodes. Yeah, definitely Bad Boys with Sminos is another one of my favorites, but from top to bottom, like I can just put this on, from the track 1 Death Row and just keep it playing. Studio Ground Rules is an excellent track. I think that's kind of probably got the best bars on it.
Right.
Of all of them. And it kind of just showcases their talent. But even, with the features, it's kind of nobody outshines each other. Like everybody's just bringing it. It's kind of got a old school kind of spitting bars vibe to it.
Right. Absolutely. And was Little Sims April as well? Or was that March?
It might have been in March. I know we touched base on it a little bit, but we can definitely discuss that album.
Yeah. So Little Sims, another UK artist, drops her project. Gray Area, really, really clean ass project. Like top to bottom, she brought the heat. I don't know. Y'all just gotta go. Y'all gotta just go pick these albums up. Like y'all gotta go listen.
You gotta listen. That Little Sims one's definitely. It's just something about the UK sound right now. I know a couple of years ago, it was really more garagey and grimy, and now it's transitioning more into a kind of a boom bap, kind of a sound like a almost like a Jay Dilla influenced sound that's coming out of that scene with a lot of great names there. Remember that album from Dave? That dropped in March as well. I don't think we had brought that one up, but
no, we did it.
Dave,
Psychodrama.
Yep, by Dave.
That was a really good album.
Great album. I mean, in terms of bars and kind of just it's introspective kind of rap as well, in that same vein as the Loyle Carner. But definitely the track Psycho on that one. It's a beat change on that track. Definitely dope. This guy definitely has bars. He's one of the best spitters I've heard out of, outside of the U.S., maybe ever.
Okay. Ever. All right. That's
outside of the U.S.
Outside of the U.S. Yeah.
Outside of the U.S.
I caught that. We can let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times foreign rap kind of sounds cheesy, but I really kind of just, his style stood out to me. In terms of his lyrical abilities.
For sure. Another good one that came out in April was an R&B project, Adogio by LUJ. LUJ is another kind of LUJ is another kind of selection rapper kind of dude. If you've never heard of Selection, you're definitely slipping. We've talked about them timeless, over and over again, kind of talk about ROMderful. We just talked about, so they're all in that same kind of crew, or basically a collective of DJs and producers and, singers and things like that. And LUJ definitely brought it with the R&B tip. I really love this album, or this EP. Is 7 songs. Really, really good though. Solid production. I know he produced and sings over it. Kills it. Definitely one that if you on that R&B tip, ladies or fellas, if you're in that vibe, that is one to check out. Absolutely. 100%. We've had some good solo tracks that have dropped. I think that's pretty much it as far as albums that we really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
The Moose Dawa. When did that come out though? See, that's why I'm trying to think, because that was
2019, but we can.
It is 2019. It's one that we found. That came out this year, and it's really good. Moose Dawa, MOOSEDAWA.
Yeah,
the Swap EP.
Yep.
Really fucking good. It's only 11 minutes. It's 6 songs. It's 11 minutes, and you wish that you had a lot more. But man, for six tracks in 11 minutes, the shit is a whole vibe. Like the whole thing is very jazzy, eclectic. Really good instrumentation. Just above par production and sound. I'm really just super hype about those projects that have come out, and we found some really good stuff this year. We found some really good
definitely
stuff. So
if there's anything we've haven't mentioned that you want to put us on to, just go ahead and hit us up.
Yeah, for sure.
At Take the Antidote, or go to taketheantidote.com, and you'll get the info on how to contact us there.
Yeah, shoot us some stuff, man. We would definitely love to listen to some other artists out there. Anybody who has any interest in any other musics out there, man, send it to us, man. We're definitely open. We'll check it out. We'll probably tell you if it's garbage or not, but no, we are open to anything, because there's a lot of stuff that you might just go and be like, man, this cover or this album doesn't look like it'll be good, and you go back and you actually listen to it and you're like, damn, how did I miss this? That's kind of what happens to us all the time. It's like we see stuff, but then we kind of skip over it. Another good one that we forgot to throw in there on the more alternative, or just different dance, however you want to call it. Electronic, definitely was the No Geography Chemical Brothers album.
Yeah, that's definitely been one of my favorite electronic album releases of the year. All kinds of different kind of genres and flavors there. Really great album.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a lot of music for you guys to take into, a lot of different singles out there too. Just keep your eyes out. There's a lot of good music that's being played out there, but just make sure that you're actually taking the time to listen, and hopefully you'll actually enjoy some of the songs and some of the things that we see. Cause I mean, we're just finding stuff, and we just like to listen to it, and hopefully it's good. But it's something that you have to actually just sit down and listen to for a second. So make sure that you continue to keep searching for that music and listening, and continue to listen to this podcast, because we'll continue to put you on dope shit.
Hell yeah.
All day. Well, that's it. That's this episode. We appreciate y'all again. Please like, subscribe, share. TakeTheAntidote.com, as Paulie Dubz just said momentarily ago. Make sure y'all go there, subscribe, share it with your friends. We're also on Spotify. We're also on Stitcher. We're also on the Apple Podcasts app, pretty much everywhere. YouTube, you can find some of our clips on YouTube and everything like that. Any exclusive mixes that you hear will be available on my SoundCloud at DJ-Craftmatic on SoundCloud, as well as once we get everything kind of loaded, we're going to start our own playlist from all the songs that we find, and Paulie be finding them. He puts them on the intro songs. We find a lot of fire. So we're definitely going to start putting them together, and we're going to have a playlist out there for Spotify and Apple Music. That way you guys can also enjoy the music that we find out there, as far as for tracks of the week, and as well as just the singles that we play, to start the episodes and stuff like that. So just stay tuned, man. We got a lot of stuff locked, and we appreciate y'all. Paulie Dubz, tell them.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Definitely go ahead and leave us a review, leave us a rating, you leave us the stars, whatever's easiest for you. It definitely helps us. We're just slaves living in the algorithm, and we're subject to it. So we just need your help whenever, if whatever you can do.
Yeah, man. And also,
listening.
Absolutely, we appreciate y'all listening. And if there's like topics y'all want us to discuss, shoot us a message, man, and we'll be happy to tackle anything that y'all give us. We have a lot of different perspective, so yeah, feel free to get at us, and we'll tackle it all. So yeah, this has been the Antidote podcast show, man, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, take the antidote.com.